Have you ever wondered what would happen if SHALLOT, the main character from Dragon Ball Legends, suddenly became a canon part of the Dragon Ball Super story? It's a question a lot of us have kicked around. I mean, he's got the Saiyan blood, the mysterious past, and the potential to go Super Saiyan God. It almost feels like he was designed to fit right in. So today, let's dive deep into this hypothetical scenario. How would the Z fighters react? Where would he fit into the grand scheme of things? And most importantly, how would his presence change the entire Dragon Ball universe as we know it? Let's set the stage. The Tournament of Power is over. Frieza is back. And the Broly incident has just shown Goku and Vegeta that there are still Saiyans out there with unimaginable power. Imagine, in the midst of this relative peace, a new Saiyan just appears on Earth. Not from a distant planet, but seemingly from a different time altogether. This is SHALLOT, an ancient Saiyan with amnesia, wearing outdated armor and possessing a tail. His first encounter wouldn't be a friendly spar. It would be a moment of pure confusion for everyone. Goku, being Goku, would be instantly thrilled. Another Saiyan, another powerful fighter to test his limits against. He'd be buzzing with excitement. Vegeta, on the other hand, would be far more suspicious. He's the prince of all Saiyans, and the sudden appearance of a long-lost kinsman would trigger every skeptical instinct he has. He'd question SHALLOT's origins, his power, and his intentions. He might even see him as a potential rival for his own status. Another low-class warrior who could surpass him, just like Kakarot did. Bulma would be the key to unlocking SHALLOT's past. Her scientific genius would be put to the test. She'd analyze his armor, his DNA, and maybe even try to help him recover his lost memories. It is through Bulma's lab that we likely get our first real clues about who SHALLOT is. Perhaps his DNA is ancient, far older than any Saiyan data she has on record. Maybe his armor contains materials not found in their current timeline. This would be the mystery that drives the initial part of his story arc. Is he from the past, a different universe, or something else entirely? The biggest initial conflict would be SHALLOT's own internal struggle. He has no memory, only a powerful fighting instinct and a name. He'd be like a fish out of water, trying to understand this new world of flying cars, capsules, and fighters who can turn their hair blue. He'd likely form a bond with someone who understands being an outsider. Piccolo would be a great candidate. As a former enemy-turned-guardian, Piccolo could offer a unique perspective on finding your place and identity. He could train SHALLOT, not just in combat, but in controlling his power and his temper, which, as we know from the game, can be pretty explosive. Let's talk about his power. In Dragon Ball Legends, SHALLOT is a prodigy. He learns and adapts at an incredible rate, quickly mastering new techniques and transformations. If this trait carried over into the canon, he would be Imagine SHALLOT training with Goku and Vegeta. He would pick up the basics of God Ki at a startling pace. Seeing Super Saiyan God for the first time might trigger a latent memory or instinct, allowing him to access the form himself, much to Vegeta's frustration and Goku's delight. His presence would completely alter the power dynamic. We would no longer just have the Goku and Vegeta show. It would become a trio. This could lead to some amazing new team-ups and strategies in battle. Instead of Goku and Vegeta struggling to work together, you'd have a third Saiyan who might be better at coordinating attacks, forcing them to finally learn true teamwork. Think about the potential for new fusion characters. What would a fusion of SHALLOT and Gohan look like? Or even SHALLOT and Broly? The possibilities are wild. Now, let's get to the main plot. SHALLOT's amnesia has to lead somewhere. In the game, his memory loss is tied to a tournament of time and a villain manipulating history. If he became canon, his backstory would likely be tied directly to Saiyan history itself. What if SHALLOT is from the original Saiyan homeworld, not the Universe 6 version, but the one from Universe 7 that was destroyed by internal conflict long before they settled on planet Vegeta? This would be a bombshell for Vegeta. He prides himself on his knowledge of Saiyan history, but it's all from the perspective of his father's kingdom. SHALLOT could be a living relic from a time before King Vegeta, a time of different traditions, different values, and maybe even a different kind of Saiyan society. Perhaps the ancient Saiyans were not just brutal warriors, but had a more noble or complex culture that was lost to time. SHALLOT could be the key to rediscovering that lost heritage. His nemesis from the game, the man in the hood, could be adopted as a canon villain. Maybe this figure is another ancient Saiyan, SHALLOT's twin brother Giblet, who believes the old ways of pure, brutal strength were the right ways. He could arrive in the present to cleanse the Saiyan race of its perceived softness, targeting Goku for his earthling compassion, and Vegeta for his settled family life. This would create a deeply personal conflict for SHALLOT. He'd be forced to fight his own blood to protect his new friends and the world that took him in. The climax of this arc would be SHALLOT finally regaining his memory during a climactic battle with his brother. He would remember their past, their original conflict on ancient and the reasons they were sent hurtling through time in the first place. He'd have to make a choice. Embrace the brutal legacy of his past, or forge a new path with the Z. Of course, we know what he'd choose. He'd fight for his friends, likely unlocking a unique new transformation in the process, perhaps his own version of Ultra Instinct or a form that channels his ancient Saiyan power in a new, controlled way. After this arc, SHALLOT would be a permanent fixture. He wouldn't just be a guest character, he'd be part of the family. He could become a mentor to the younger generation, like Goten and Trunks, teaching them about their Saiyan heritage in a way that Goku and Vegeta never could. He'd offer a new perspective, a bridge between the ancient past and the uncertain future. His inclusion would also open up the lore immensely. Through him, we could explore the origins of the Super Saiyan legend, the history of the Tuffles, and the real reasons for Universe 7's Sadala being destroyed. He is a living history book, and his story could fuel Dragon Ball for years to come. Imagine an arc where they travel to the ruins of old Sadala, or even use the Super Dragon Balls to get a glimpse of what their race was once like. In the end, making SHALLOT canon wouldn't just be about adding another powerful fighter. It would be about enriching the entire world of Dragon Ball. It would add depth to Saiyan history, create new and exciting character dynamics, and introduce a hero whose journey of self-discovery would resonate with all of us. He represents the idea that you are not defined by your past, but by the choices you make and the bonds you forge. It's a classic Dragon Ball theme, and SHALLOT embodies it perfectly. It's a what-if that feels so natural. It's almost a shame it's not already a reality. So what do you think? How would you want to see SHALLOT integrated into the canon? Let me know your theories down in the comments. It's always fun to imagine the possibilities. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more what-if scenarios. I'll see you in the next one.